Calling all horror fans, you've got something to look forward to. The voices behind the podcast, The Old Gods of Appalachia, are coming to the Roxy Theater in McKees Rocks. Creators Steve Shell and Cam Collins explore a spooky alternate Appalachia, where monsters roam and the hills were never meant to be inhabited. Check it out this Friday, May 19th. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com.
Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, just a few years ago, there were no high school wrestling programs for girls in Pennsylvania. Now there are more than 100, and that's a magic number for the state body that governs high school sports. The Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association is voting this week on whether to officially sanction women's wrestling, which would let those teams have different kinds of competitions and all the same stuff that boys have had for years. I'm with Plum High School wrestling coach Dave Miller and 4 of their fiercest pioneers. It's Tuesday, May 16th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. We went out on a field trip to Plum High School to meet up with 4 members of the girls' wrestling team. They introduced themselves by sharing their signature wrestling move. Here's Sophia Davis, a 9th grader.
I do a cement mixer a lot. You just throw them on the floor and then you're on top of them.
9th grader Elena Clausen.
I do the bundles. It's how I win almost every match.
Emma Scatana, who's in 11th grade.
I like to do ankle picks all the time because I can just set them up perfectly and then it just works. They just go, woo.
And 10th grader Emma Leindecker.
I like to do blast doubles or double legs.
So, ladies, how did you get into wrestling? What is it about the sport that you really love? Emma S., you're smiling.
I was just a really mad person, so it really helps to release a lot of things, and it's a lot of team atmosphere, and we all really love each other.
Elena?
I got into it from my older brother and my dad. Me and my brother would roughhouse it all the time, so I thought it was a good idea.
Emma L.
I love the team that we have and the bond created on the mats and how well we all work together. I really enjoy that, the team atmosphere.
Sophia.
I got into wrestling because I had 4 older brothers, so I just kind of got into it, but it's fun and everybody loves each other and we're all just a big family and we just love it.
Is that different or special from other teams at the school?
Yeah, I feel like it is because I know for some of the other sports teams, I feel like I always hear about drama going on and girls getting in fights, but here we're all best friends. Drama. Oh yeah, no, we've never had drama, no. But no, but we all get along and we're a really big family and we just all love each other.
You can fight it out? Is that what I just heard?
Yeah, at least we can fight it out, actually fight it out. Other people, I don't think that'll go too well for them.
Is that a problem-solving strategy in here? Just take it to the mat, literally?
Yep. Yes, just go fight it out. Go wrestle it out.
So Plum just added girls wrestling this year. Coach Dave Miller, what made Plum want to get ahead and start a girls wrestling team before Pennsylvania has even recognized or sanctioned the sport?
Probably Elena and Sophia. And there's another 9th grade girl that also wrestles. That's probably why. I think Elena, Sophia, and Maddie, if they didn't wrestle, there wouldn't be a wrestling team. So because they were wrestling already, I think once they got to the high school, there was a push for them to have a wrestling team, somewhere to wrestle.
I mean, it's really special to be the one the school created a thing for. What does that mean to y'all?
I think it's pretty cool that they would. So now we have somewhere to wrestle and we don't have to just go to clubs all the time.
And it's something we'll remember for the rest of our lives. When we have kids, we can always tell them we started a wrestling team.
It's a little unusual. Most of us are kind of cool if our mom played basketball or something,
My mom wrestled.
Do you think it'll be different at all if girls wrestling gets officially sanctioned?
It would feel good because more girls could like see that girls wrestling is like actually a thing and like other girls do it and it's a big community.
I think it would be exciting to have matches and a section and grow from there, you know. Yeah, I think it would be really exciting because with the boys team, they have like matches almost every week here at the school or at like a different school. Like that counts towards the school and everything. So I think it would be really cool to have like dual meets just like that too for the girls team.
Right now, do your meets not count in the same way that the boys do?
We did more tournaments this year than anything else. We only wrestled 2 dual meets because not a lot of teams don't have a full lineup. Like there's 14 weight classes and we had 8 girls, so we can't cover all the weight classes. So next year, if it's sanctioned, there's going to be more dual meets. And I think I will get a lot more girls into the sport.
How popular is girls wrestling right now? If there's 8 of you, I don't know how big Plum High School is, but I'm going to guess you're in the minority.
It's small but growing. It's the fastest growing female sport in the United States. I think last year there was less than 300 girls in the state wrestling, and this year there's over 1,000. So it's grown by leaps and bounds. At the beginning of this season, there was, I think, 40 schools that had wrestling teams in Pennsylvania. Now there's over 100. So it's impressive growth.
Well, and the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association, it seems like they're really supportive of this. After the upcoming vote was first announced, the executive director said he hopes the sport grows a lot more. Like, why stop at 100 schools? Let's get to 200, 300, 400. It was all glowingly positive.
I've never heard a negative thing about girls wrestling being sanctioned in PA. I think they were shocked at how quickly they got to 100 schools. And then it really just exploded. So I think once it gets sanctioned, there'll probably be another 30, 40 schools immediately. Because there are schools in the state, I've been told that they can't form a team unless they sanction the sport first.
This episode is brought to you by Cliff Kid, makers of Z-Bar, the win-win energy snack bar for kids. Kids love the soft-baked texture and delicious flavors like chocolate chip and iced oatmeal cookie. And parents love that each Z-Bar is packed with wholesome ingredients like organic oats, with no artificial flavors or high-fructose corn syrup. Cliff Kid Z-Bar is the winning snack to fuel active kids that everyone in the family can agree on. Visit cliffkid.com to learn more. That's CLIFkid.com.
So, what are you thinking for lunch?
I can't. I'm getting new window treatment.
Why don't you just go to Blinds.com?
Because I need custom products.
Blinds.com products are made to order, and they ship samples to you fast and free.
Wow, how convenient. Tell me more.
They can even verify your measurements and handle the installation. Plus, their 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Well, you've convinced me. Let's go eat. I've got time now.
Shop Blinds.com and save 40% on selected products. Rules and restrictions may apply.
So there's a photo on the wall that says Wrestle Like a Girl, and it's the 8 of you from the season. Is that correct?
Yep.
I mean, in the before times when I was in high school, like usually like everybody was very like smiley in sports photos. Y'all look pretty fierce.
If you could think of the movie Gremlins and then just like the really mad face and then just imagine 8 girls staring into your soul really mad with their arms crossed.
Is that like kind of like the, I don't know, the persona that you get to play being on the wrestling team? Savia?
I feel like when a lot of people like look at us, like when we wear our Plum wrestling sweatshirts, I know like if I'll talk to my friends and say like, oh, so-and-so wrestles, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I see them, they're so scary. But in reality, they're just like such sweet people. So we kind of come off as like scary to some people, but we're really super sweet.
Emma S?
If like our wrestling hoodies, other people saw them, like if our last names weren't on the back, they would definitely think they're like boys or something.
That you're just wearing a boys sweatshirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year, I wrestled last year, and I had on my Plum wrestling sweatshirt, and one of my teachers asked me like, oh, is that your boyfriend's sweatshirt? I was like, no. I was like, I wrestle. He was like, oh, I didn't see the back. I was like, yeah.
I mean, That kind of sucks that like he immediately thought that it was like a boys.
Yeah, I was like, no, I wrestle.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've had a chance to check out the Sanction PA website. It's got a bunch of cool resources for schools interested in starting their own teams, but also some talking points for people who maybe need to do some convincing at their schools. One of those points has to do with Title IX, which can limit how many boys can play a sport if girls aren't also playing that sport. And that argument, I mean, it's very smart, but also we're saying that one reason to allow this, like to allow girls wrestling, is that if more girls are allowed to wrestle, then maybe more boys will get interested in it too. And I was a little bummed about that. Like, really, that's where we're at? That trying to get men interested in wrestling is a reason to let girls have a chance at it? I don't know. I'm just curious how that hits y'all.
It kind of makes me like a little upset because like I feel like this is about girls wrestling, you know, not guys, because I know I'll wrestle with guys and they can be like weird sometimes. So it's like, I don't know. That's
about
just,
wrestling with you specifically?
Yeah, like it's not even like, it's not bad, but like they're just like, oh, it's a girl, like I have to beat her up, which is, it's not like beat her up, but like, you know, it's like, I don't know. That just kind of, it's a little upsetting that that's how they think about it.
It makes me like mad because it was already their sport in the first place, so I don't know what the whole iffy is about.
I don't think that's going to get more boys wrestling.
You don't?
No. I think the more girls, I was shocked this year at the quality of wrestling throughout the state, especially at states. The girls wrestling was, it was good, really competitive. The more girls that get into it, when they wrestle with the boys, I think the boys will get out of it quickly if they're not adapt to wrestling, because it's not going to be fun getting beat by girls. It's just not. I think it's really it's fun to watch girls wrestle and learn moves, and they're as good as any boy. I mean, this was the first year Pennsylvania had a girl qualify for boys states.
I saw
in
that.
Wrestling. That was unbelievable. I mean, that was pretty neat.
Is that exciting to y'all to see that, you know, girls your age elsewhere in the state are like competing at that level?
Yes, because it shows you that you can do anything, literally.
Yeah, the girl who actually qualified for boys states, I remember like going up to her and saying like she was such an inspiration, because it just made me so happy to see that like girls are really persevering and just like doing this.
Do y'all like being part of the first class, like the inaugural ones when it does become official? MS.
Yes, because we'll always be remembered, like us few girls will be always known as the ones that started it and the first ones.
ML, you want to take us home?
I like being a role model for the younger girls to show them that they can also do it and get as many as possible for when they're older so that they can wrestle many opportunities.
Cool. Thank y'all so much.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
That's Coach Dave, Emma S., Emma L., Sophia, and Elena, half of this year's Plum Senior High School wrestling class, and possibly, if the vote goes their way tomorrow, some of the newest official wrestlers in the PIAA. We'll keep you posted on the vote. A little more news before you go. Pittsburgh is worried about public safety. A poll from WESA and the market research firm Campos found nearly half of 400 respondents said police should have a greater presence in crime hotspots. Nearly the same number wanted to see more social workers and mental health workers, but less than 1/3 want more cops on the force. Other top concerns included infrastructure and housing and homelessness. Your water costs could rise. The Trib reports that PWSA is proposing a rate increase, that means your bill, that would affect 300,000 customers. So, like almost everyone. And it's your lucky day. It's Election Day. Polling places open bright and early at 7 a.m. and close at 8 o'clock this evening. If you're in line by closing, you cannot be turned away. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you're liking the show, please tell someone, rate us, leave us a very nice review, and subscribe to that Hey Pittsburgh newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to you soon.
I stay in here this period? I have a test I need to take, and I want to take it in here. Yes, please, 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 please.